Today is the 28th of January 2026. Yesterday I spoke mainly about mindfulness, explaining that it is likened to a doorkeeper because it guards the six sense doors. Just as a doorkeeper does not admit harmful or destructive people, but allows in only those who are good and beneficial, mindfulness protects the mind. It prevents unwholesome states from entering and taking hold, while allowing wholesome ones. A doorkeeper does not merely stand at the door and observe who comes and goes. A skilled doorkeeper also blocks and defends. In the same way, mindfulness does not merely passively notice what arises through the six sense doors: sight, sound, smell, taste, touch and mind. It helps prevent unwholesome state such as greed, hatred, restlessness and delusion from entering and dominating the mind. It protects inner peace, clarity and wisdom we cultivate through practice. Just as a well-trained guard can recognize danger before it causes harm, mindfulness works proactively. It detects the early signs of defilements and prevents them from influencing our thoughts, speech and action. How mindfulness gets proactive means, as mindfulness gets stronger, meditators gradually become capable of noticing and noting intention of the mind. Intentions of the mind such as the intention to stand up, intention to sit down, intention to eat or to drink. At first, awareness recognizes gross intention, and as mindfulness deepens, it begins to notice intention, subtle intention, such as the intention to open or close the eyes, intention to swallow saliva, intention to move or roll the eyeballs, and even the intention just before blinking. As meditators become increasingly capable of recognizing and noting almost all intentions, action of body and speech come naturally under mindful control. Physical and verbal actions no longer occur impulsively, but arise with awareness, clarity and restraint. In one of the discourses, the Buddha taught that before acting with body, speech or mind, we should carefully reflect. When you intend to act, reflect, does this action lead to harm to myself, harm to others, or harm to both? Is it unwholesome, immoral, with suffering as it results? Through reflection, if you know that it will cause harm and suffering, do not do it. But if you know that it does not cause harm and leads to happiness, you may do it. If you couldn't reflect before doing them, reflect while performing an action. Is this action leading to harm to myself, other, or both? If you realize that harm is occurring, stop the action. If no harm is occurring and the action is wholesome, continue that action. If you couldn't reflect while performing the action, then reflect right after completing an action. Did this action cause harm to myself, other, or both? If you see that harm was done, you should acknowledge it, confess it to the teacher or a wise spiritual friend, and resolve not to repeat it. If you see that no harm was done and action was wholesome, you should rejoice in it and continue training in wholesome qualities day and night. It is essential to reflect in this way because people generally perform unwholesome and harmful actions without reflection. As a result, they cause harm to themselves and to others. Later they experience regret. They experience regret, remorse, and suffering due to the painful consequences of their actions. So strong mindfulness or awareness helps you to reflect before performing an action because it recognizes intentions as they arise. By clearly knowing the intention behind action, mindfulness allows you to examine whether it is wholesome or unwholesome or harmful or harmless before it turns into speech or bodily action. Moreover, as mindfulness grows stronger, the mind becomes capable of clearly knowing the mental states. At first, wandering thoughts are difficult to notice. We may recognize them only after 1 minute, 5 minutes, or even after a long chain of thoughts has almost ended. Gradually, recognition becomes quicker and sharper. Later, as soon as a thought rises, it is noticed without even a single even a second's delay. Over time, we begin to notice the mind just as it is about to wander or about to plan or about to think. At times, mindfulness becomes aware of very early sign of defilements, even before they fully arise. When awareness becomes proactive, it is able to recognize wandering thoughts and even defilements at their earliest stirring. That means meditators will recognize when greed is about to arise fully, when anger is about to occur in the mind fully. Similarly, when other defilements are fully about to arise, meditators will recognize anger is about to arise, or greed is about to arise, or greed tends to arise, or pride, a conceit, or jealous mind tend to arise. In this way, when mindfulness becomes stronger and proactive, meditators become capable to catch the defilements even when they are about to fully arise. As mindfulness learns to detect these subtle precursors, prevention becomes far more effective. Defilements are stopped before they can form, strengthen, or influence through speech and action. In this way, the mind remains guarded, protected. If mindfulness is not strong yet to prevent defilements, at least before their first arising, at least it will recognize. Then quickly, and it will dispel them through observation and noting. This is the genuine prevention and the genuine cure. As we have discussed, we must try our best to prevent illnesses before we get sick. If for any reason we cannot prevent it and do get sick, immediate treatment is required, otherwise the illness will worsen and become difficult to cure. We should prevent a fire before it starts, because fire spreads rapidly and causes great destruction. If we cannot prevent it and the fire starts, we must extinguish it immediately. Otherwise, it will spread uncontrollably and burn everything. Similarly, we have to prevent the unwholesomenesses or defilements or the mental sicknesses before they arise in our mind. If we couldn't prevent or arises in our mind states or in our stream of mind, we have to cure immediately. Because if we don't cure immediately, they get stronger, it harms our mind, and defilements may manifest through body and speech as the unwholesome actions. In this way, when mindfulness prevents and cure immediately when defilements arise, meanwhile when mindfulness blocks and defends the clarity, the wisdom concentration that we have developed, then the sense of safety, a sense of safety develops that we call in Pali Gutti. The protection that we have discussed is Arakha in Pali. I repeat, Arakha in Pali. And the defending, blocking and defending is Avarana in Pali. And this development of sense of safety is Gutti in Pali. Gutti. As mind becomes protected and defense, blocking, and a sense of safety is there, then mind becomes free from defilements. Because mindfulness is not admitting any defilements to enter in our mind stream. It is not giving rooms for defilements. So means mind is, at that moment mind is free from defilements. So freedom is there, deliverance is there. So that is called mutti, the freedom or the deliverance appear through the development of the mindfulness. And when mind becomes free from defilements, automatically, spontaneously, mind becomes calm, because defilements are those who disturb, who distract, who agitate, which agitate our mind. As the defilements, as the mind becomes free from defilements, then there is no disturbance, no agitation. Then automatically mind becomes calm, and calmness arises, peacefulness, mental calmness and peacefulness arise at that moment, that we call in Pali Santi. The stronger the mindfulness, the stronger the protection. For this reason, you should try your best to strengthen mindfulness by observing continuously without gaps, without forgetfulness, without interval. The more consistent and focused your mindfulness becomes, the more powerfully it protects the mind from defilements and distractions. Again, the stronger the mindfulness, the stronger the block, the stronger the defense, and the stronger the protection, block and defense, the greater the safety at the mind. Just as a well-guarded house is free from thieves or even the danger of thieves, the well-guarded mind is free from defilements. Because mindfulness is standing at the door like a strong guard. Defilements such as greed, anger, delusion are either not admitted at all, or if they arise, they are seen clearly, recognized clearly, and dispelled instantly. There is no room for defilements to settle or grow or take over in our mind stream. So that is what we call freedom. And there is deliverance. Mutti is there, liberation from mental defilements. Although it is temporary, each moment the mind is free from defilements, a taste of freedom that the noble ones live is continues, and yogis experience by themselves. And as I mentioned, when the mind is free from defilements, it becomes calm, because defilements are exactly what disturbs the peace of the mind. They are the mental pollutants that stir up emotional storms and destroy our stillness. Think of like how you feel when you are angry. The heart races, the breath becomes heavy, the mind spins with thoughts of blame or revenge. That's not a calm mind. That's exactly not a calm mind. But when anger is observed mindfully and noted and fades, the body relaxes, the breath slows down, and the mind becomes peaceful and calm again. A flame on a candle is calm when there is no wind. Defilements are like wind. They shake the flame, make it flicker, sometimes blow it out. When there is no wind, the flame stands still and steady. Similarly, when the mind is free from defilements, it rests calmly, undisturbed. So the presence of mindfulness brings calm and clarity. The stronger the mindfulness, the stronger the calm and peacefulness. And the more continuous the mindfulness, the deeper the peace. This means every single moment of true mindfulness contains calmness and peace. That moment could be while you are observing the rising and falling of abdomen, or while noting mental objects such as thoughts, emotions, or intention, or while being aware of bodily sensations like pain, tension, warmth, or while observing the steps of your feet during walking meditation, or even while mindfully performing daily activities, washing, eating, cleaning, or reaching for an object. So no matter what you are performing or which object you are observing, if mindfulness is there, then calmness, peacefulness are present. Whenever mindfulness is truly present, calmness and peace can be found right there in that moment. It's like peace and calm in every breath, peace and calm in every step, peace and calm in every moment. In other words, peace and calm in every second, each minute, and each hour, as long as mindfulness remains unbroken. That means you don't need to wait for some future attainment. You don't need to wait future. Even now, in this moment, with mindfulness, the heart can touch peace. The moment of freedom from defilements not only bring peace and calm, but also gives rise to joy and mental comfort. Imagine sitting in a noisy, chaotic room. You are sitting in a noisy, chaotic room full of shouting and distractions. But suddenly all the noise stops. In that silence, you don't just feel calm, you feel a relief, joy and comfort. That's what the mind feels when defilements fall silent. And just as a burden lifted from the shoulder brings physical comfort, the removal of defilements bring mental comfort or mental bliss. These are the immediate benefits we can enjoy when true mindfulness is present. Protection, blocking, defending, a sense of safety, a taste of freedom, deep calm, inner peace, joy and mental comfort, all arising together in the same moment, whether consciously or unconsciously. But in contrast, if you fail to develop true mindfulness, you miss out on all of these benefits. If you lose mindfulness even for a single moment, you lose these benefits for the moment. If you lose it for a second, you miss out for a second. If you are unmindful for one full moment, then you miss for the benefits 60 times. You miss the benefits 60 times. And if the mind is unguarded for 5 minutes, that's 300 times. 300 lost opportunities. And for entire hour, it could mean that 3,600 missed moments or 3,600 chances lost to protect and calm and free the mind. That is why we always emphasize mindfulness must be developed continuously. Mindfulness must be developed continuously, moment by moment, without delay, without carelessness. Mindfulness does not just observe the object deeply with penetration, but also it guards, it protects and frees the mind, allowing us to experience these wholesome qualities right here, right now, not only in the distant future. Right now you may wonder how we can develop such a beneficial mindfulness. The text mentions that first one should develop a firm and steadfast perception in order to develop mindfulness. I repeat, first we should develop a firm and steadfast perception in order to develop mindfulness. Then what is perception? Perception is the mental state that recognizes and records object. It recognizes and records the object as it is, rising as rising, falling as falling, thinking as thinking, sensation as sensation, movement as movement, lifting as lifting, moving as moving, dropping as dropping, and so on. As you continue recognizing and recording repeatedly, perception becomes stronger, laying the foundation for the development of the mindfulness. That is why meditators should aim to recognize and record every moment of the meditation object with precision and, most importantly, without discrimination. One should not judge meditation object as good or bad, pleasing or unpleasing, wholesome or unwholesome. Just as a video or audio recorder captures whatever is present without bias or commentary, the meditator's task is simply to observe and register the reality of the present moment or the present object. Like a recorder, your responsibility is not to approve or reject, but simply to recognize and record the obvious object as it arises, whether it is the rising and falling of the abdomen, a thought, a sound, a sensation, or a feeling. So this non-reactive observation is the heart of developing true mindfulness. If you want to develop mindfulness in the rising and falling of the abdomen, keep observing, recognizing, and recording. If you want to develop mindfulness in mental objects such as thought, planning, memory, then keep observing, recognizing, and recording. If you want to develop mindfulness in sensations, keep observing, recognizing, and recording. If you want to develop mindfulness in movements of the feet, keep observing, recognizing, recording. If you want to develop mindfulness in day-to-day activities, then keep observing, recognizing, and recording. Mindfulness automatically develops. That's why may you all be able to observe the presently arising object. May you all be able to observe, recognize, and record every presently arising object with precision and without discrimination by observing, recognizing, and recording. May you able to develop the mindfulness, and through development of the mindfulness, may you able to May you all be able to enjoy the protection, blocking, defending, a sense of safety, a taste of freedom, deep calm, inner peace, joy and mental comfort or mental bliss.